Before we get started, I now have a Mastodon page. Make sure to follow me there if you enjoy the stuff I make, as there will be more frequent updates on there about what I'm up to, so if you're into that kind of thing, make sure to check out the Mastodon. As many teenagers and young adults do, I have a part-time job within the retail industry, and being in the retail industry, I can't help but notice the change in attitude that big boys and the head officers have about the interaction with us, the employees. Now, I should clarify, I've only been working within retail for the past couple months, and as a result, all of the knowledge I have amassed about this job has come from the colleagues I find myself working with on a shift-by-shift basis. It should come as no surprise to you that the big boys and many large corporations, not only within the retail industry but many other industries across the modern day market, such as manufacturing or research, they're making moves to replace the menial workers. Now, more specifically for this case I'm talking about today, the replacement of the humble retail worker by means of self-service checkouts, or even stores with no checkouts at all. But the ways in which I have seen this take place make me question the actual resolve of this machine-driven great wagie replacement. First point of order, the self-service checkout. Now, for the uninitiated in the audience, the self-service checkout is, in theory, exactly what it sounds like. A checkout that you can use by yourself without the direct need for a shopkeeper or shop clerk to scan through your items and to charge you for them. In my experience, the self-service checkout has served more as a means to minimise the need for store workers, as opposed to outright eliminating the need for them. At my work, there are half a dozen or so self-service checkouts and 2 human-operated checkouts, with the main checkout being host to a display that outputs all of the technical information about the dozen or so self-service tills in the shop. Information such as if it's online, what the customer is scanning, and whether or not an approved sale is needed. If they're trying to purchase a restricted product such as alcohol, they need a human to approve that sale. Now, here's my gripe with this technology. They're not fully self-service. They shouldn't even be called that. At best, they allow you to buy your meal deal with an extra packet of crisps. Any more items than that, it's all but certain you'll encounter issues with the weighing scale, thinking of trying to nick an item of shopping, or the barcode being slightly misprinted, so you have to look at it and look back at the self-service machine and type in all the numbers below the barcode by themselves individually, which will take you a good 7 years or so. The same goes for if you're trying to buy a restricted product, such as alcohol or energy drinks. Yes, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but stores with over a certain amount of total employees in the UK as a whole, not just in one store, but the total amount of employees that the company has, often have a policy of asking people for ID to buy energy drinks, even if they look over the age of 18, but under the age of 25. The actual legal age to buy energy drinks in the UK for a large shop is 16 years old, whereas you can still legally buy them underage in a smaller shop, which doesn't really make much sense. I don't really see what the government was trying to do with that one, but hey ho, we'll leave it there. On with what I was talking about. So in order to complete the sale and comply with the regulations, I, or the shopkeeper, have to authorise the sale, which means there needs to be an employee who can sell these restricted products on hand to immediately authorise the transaction. I've seen some trialling in major retail stores of facial recognition, attempting to guesstimate the customer's age in order to eliminate the need for Wagies to stand by, but that just seems like a completely bad idea. I mean, first of all, people could just wear different clothes or slap some makeup on to appear older. And facial recognition, seriously? I mean, facial recognition in public at a stretch is still something I disagree with, but in stores? I mean, come on. Moving away from the shop floor, we have the warehouse. Now, from what I've seen firsthand, the automation of the distribution centres which organise and then send the products to the stores are far more ahead in their efforts to eliminate the need for wagies than the warehouses often attached to stores. I guess calling them warehouses gives them the wrong image, because in most cases the store warehouse is just a sectioned off part of the store where products that aren't needed on the shop floor are stored. So if you're full of Cadbury chocolates on your shelf and you've also filled up the top rack with chocolates, you're going to shove the rest of them in the back until you need to put them back out onto the shop floor as people buy them. You understand where I'm coming from, right? I'm trying not to overcomplicate it here, but to get to the point, distribution centres are largely automated within bigger corporations and organisations. Amazon's distribution centres are a great example of this, and have been for quite a few years now. Other smaller retailers are catching up, and it's only a matter of time before the warehouse worker gets replaced by a much more efficient little robot, zooming around like a Roomba with a 5-ton load on top of it. With that said, is this automation even a bad thing? Well, I think the answer to this question is impossible to put into black and white terms. It's both negative and positive. First of all, the automation of one of the most employed and low-skilled jobs in the world will undoubtedly lead to millions of people losing their jobs at some point within the next 10, 20 and 30 years. However, this does not mean that new jobs will not come along for these people to be re-employed. Forgive me, as I couldn't find a source for this piece of information, so this is going to be a bit of a trust me bro moment, but according to my Zoomer logic, around 40% of jobs today did not exist in the year 1940. We could be looking at the same deal now, with a large automation revolution around the corner leading to many people losing their current jobs, but many more being created in its place. Is the partial or full replacement of wages in the workplace even a possibility within the next 30 years? I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. Do you think you know? I mean, put your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to see what you think about this whole debacle. Truly anything could happen. I'm personally quite looking forward to seeing how this pans out in the future, as we're constantly being fed information about the automation of the workplace. And if you look in the right bits, you see talk about a universal basic income, which could be in place of the massive amount of employment that will be lost within the next 20-30 years if this automation revolution, as I've coined here, is to take place. Well, like I say, I don't know. Please put your thoughts in the comments, but make sure to like the video if you did. And thank you to everyone who watched this all the way through. Bit of a shorter one today. I just wanted a bit of a rant about something that I found quite interesting, as it's now, personally, it affects me, so I thought I'd discuss it. Thank you very much for watching. I do have a bit of a habit of waffling a bit too much, but I hope you have a good day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.